my name is Tarek Zeidan. I'm the executive director of an organization called Helem, which is the first LGBT rights organization in the Arab world. It's based in Beirut, Lebanon, founded in 2001. So unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic comes to us and not on its own. It exacerbates an already really difficult situation in Lebanon, by which we were in the middle of an acute political crisis and a rapidly stagnating economic recession. And when the pandemic hit, it sort of made everything worse. And at the moment, we're honestly not sure where the troubles with the economic recession end and where problems with the pandemic begin. Our work in Helem is really predicated upon community building and mobilization and power building. And when you get a pandemic that forces people to stay home, you're taking away two very vital components of LGBT activism, which are visibility and mobilization. One of my biggest concerns is the fact that the existing political regime in Lebanon will capitalize on the COVID pandemic. We're witnessing not only a total shutdown of most businesses and a very strict control over movement. We're also witnessing a curfew that starts at 7 p.m. We're also witnessing laws that are stopping individuals from using their cars except on alternate days, depending on whether you have an odd or an even number. So I don't personally expect any of these measures to go away easily, because they happen to be incredibly useful for the existing interim government as well as the sponsoring regime to exert control over individuals in Lebanon, LGBT or not. So it really couldn't have come at a worse time. It remains to be seen as to how the momentum of the revolution might pick up, if ever, post-COVID. It's really unknown whether the LGBT community or the Lebanese population at large will emerge on the other side of this quarantine with the same aspirations and the same thought processes as before the quarantine. We have no idea what our society will really look like, what kind of fatigue it would be dealing with at the time, and therefore that really concerns me as to whether the political and economic outlook for the country can be improved as a result. To be honest, we're living day by day here, and we're trying to make heads or tails with what kind of a world we're going to emerge to as soon as this quarantine tunnel reaches its end. I can tell you for now that we as a human rights organization are both ethically and strategically forced to consider adopting humanitarian relief efforts, because we're here to serve the community, and right now the needs of the community have become incredibly basic, and it's getting worse every day. We started off with around 150 individuals that have signed up for our emergency relief services during the height of the revolution. We're now approaching around 600 people, and that's just within the span of a couple of months. What gives me hope is two things. One, the fact that we knew during the revolution that we had stepped forward and that there was no going back. There really is no going back to the way things were before. Now, that might be a good or a bad thing. That might be a peaceful or a violent thing. But what I do know is that the way things used to be run in Lebanon, politically, socially, legally, when it comes to law enforcement, you name it, we cannot go back. We tasted possibility in what this place might look like, what a secular Lebanese public narrative looks like outside of the influence of religious authorities and of the sectarian political parties that have thus far dominated Lebanon for much of its history. The other thing that gives me hope is the already existing bonds and acts of heroism that we see within the community every single day. You really can't beat a community once it's figured out a way to not just show solidarity, but to actually actively perform it every single day.